librarian walking towards me. I immediately start thinking, oh no, I must have an overdue library book. But when she gets to me, she says this, no pun intended, but we need someone to give a short speech. I thought that was a little transparent, so I asked her if the speaking gig still paid $1,000. She assured me it did, so I'm happy to be here tonight. I thought we would start off with a question because it's my understanding to be a part of the National Honor Society, you must maintain a 3.0 GPA throughout your high school career. So I thought we would start off with a question. There are 3 frogs sitting on a log. One frog decides to jump off. How many frogs are left? Most people would say 2, and most people would be wrong. You see, the frog only decided to jump off. He never took action. And there's a difference between deciding to do something and acting on that. Tonight, I feel like new members, that's where you're at. You've decided to be a part of the National Honor Society. Now it is time for action. I want to encourage you to do 3 things tonight in your action. Number 1, I want you to be significant in your action. To be significant means to help others become successful. One way by doing that is volunteering. I immediately think about the Boston Marathon and the hundreds upon hundreds of volunteers that when tragedy struck, they ran to it and not from it. That's being significant. For you, it might be tutoring a fellow student next year. It might be helping out at the Rogers Run, at the soup kitchen, at the animal shelter, canned food drive, or perhaps one of the festivals at our local elementary schools. I want you to be significant in your action. Another way you can be significant is by empowering others and breaking down barriers. On May 6, 1954, Roger Bannister did exactly that. He became the first human to ever run a sub-4-minute mile. Up until then, the experts had said it was humanly impossible to run a 4-minute mile. The human body just couldn't handle it. He broke down that barrier, and then the next year, many, many more people also ran a 4-minute mile. That's being significant. I want you to be significant in your action. Number 2, I want you to be positive in your action. There's a lot of naysayers in this world and a lot of negative people. For example, do you ever see someone with a sign in their front yard that says, beware of nice dog? If the bumblebee had listened to the naysayers, it would never fly around because aerodynamically it's not possible. Its body is too big and its wings are too small. But thankfully for the bumblebee, it didn't listen to the naysayers. I want you to be positive in your action. There was a shoe company in Europe who wanted to test the market potential of selling shoes in Africa. So it sent 2 of its salesmen there to test the market. The first salesman goes and comes back and says, there is no market for selling shoes. Nobody wears shoes. The second salesman goes and comes back. His report says, the market is full of potential. Nobody wears shoes. You see, the second salesman saw an opportunity and was positive about it. I want you to be positive in your action. Number 3, I want you to be confident in your action, but I don't want you to be arrogant. Arrogant people are the ones that do crossword puzzles with a pen because they think they never make mistakes. Okay? I want you to be confident that you will grow through your mistakes, even if the path at times may seem slow. The Chinese bamboo tree takes 5 years and 90 days to grow. First 5 years, it never breaks ground. And then over the next 90 days, it grows 90 feet tall. You too will grow. I want you to be confident in your action. In North Carolina, there was a college professor getting ready to give out a final exam. He knew his class had been tough, so he decided to cut his students a deal. He said, you know what, I know the class has been tough, so if you want, just sign your name on the test, walk out the door, and I'll give you a B as your final grade. Anyone want to take me up on that deal? About 70% of the students decided to take the deal. They signed their name, walked out the door, and took their B as their final grade. He said, anyone else? Last chance. One more person stood up, signed his name, walked out that door, and took their beat. When the door closed, the professor turned around to the other students and said, congratulations, you all get A's because you believed in yourself and you had confidence in yourself. I want you to be confident in your action. I don't ever want you to settle for second place when first place is available. If you do it now, you'll do it the rest of your life. I want you to be confident in your action. In closing, I'd like to read a short story that contains many life lessons that I think we can all learn from. It's called A Dog's Purpose. Being a veterinarian, I had been called to examine a 10-year-old Irish wolfhound named Bo. The dog's owners, Ron, his wife Lisa, and their little boy Shane, were all very attached to Bo, and they were hoping for a miracle. I examined Bo and found he was dying of cancer. I told the family we couldn't do anything for Bo and offered to perform the euthanasia procedure for the old dog in their home. As we made arrangements, Ron and Lisa told me they thought it would be a good idea for 6-year-old Shane to observe the procedure. They felt as though Shane might learn something from the experience. The next day, I felt the familiar catch in my throat as Bo's family surrounded him. Shane seemed so calm, petting the old dog for the last time, that I wondered if he understood what was going on. Within a few minutes, Bo slipped peacefully away. The little boy seemed to accept Bo's transition without any difficulty or confusion. We sat together for a while after Bo's death, wondering aloud about the sad fact that animals' lives are shorter than human lives. Shane, who had been listening quietly, piped up, "I know why." Startled, we all turned to him. What came out of his mouth next stunned me. I've never heard a more comforting explanation. He said, people are born so that they can learn how to live a good life, like loving everybody all the time and being nice, right? Well, dogs already know how to do that, so they don't have to stay as long. So, live like a dog. Live simply, love generously, care deeply, speak kindly. Remember, if a dog was the teacher, you would learn things like, when loved ones come home, always run to greet them. Never pass up the opportunity to go for a joyride. Allow the experience of fresh air and the wind in your face to be pure ecstasy. Take naps, stretch before rising, run and play daily. Avoid biting when a simple growl will do. On warm days, stop to lie on your back on the grass. On hot days, drink lots of water and lie under a shady tree. When you're happy, dance around and wag your entire body. Delight in the simple joy of a long walk. Be loyal. Never pretend to be something you're not. If what you want lies buried, dig until you find it. When someone is having a bad day, be silent, sit close by, and nuzzle them gently. Enjoy every moment of every day. To the National Honor Society chapter of Southmont High School, it is time for action, and it's your move. Thanks for having me.